It is Tuesday, September the 7th, 2021. Hello there and welcome to the second edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. First though, let's have a look at our main stories. In our top stories tonight, MASAKA murders, 2 MPs remanded in connection. MP SSEGIRINYA now duly elected member of parliament after court ruling. Government Performance Index, Uganda district named best. And in sports, Tokyo Paralympics, Rita Asimo returns with experience but with no medal. Hello there and welcome once again, and we are glad that you've made UBC TV your channel of choice. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language, it is Elizabeth Nakakoni and I am Rukiidi Edward Kijjanangoma. To MASAKA, where MASAKA Court has charged Machindia West Member of Parliament Alan Sewanyana and Kawempe North Member of Parliament Mohammed SSEGIRINYA with 4 counts, including murder and attempted murder. The duo is to spend 108 days on remand at Chitalia Prison before their hearing, but will be appearing after 14 days to court. We have more in this report.
The Chief Magistrate's Court, presided by Mr. Charles Weteise, has remanded Kawempe North Member of Parliament Mohammed SSEGIRINYA and Machindia West Legislator Alan Sewanyana to Chitalia Prison. They will be remanded up to September 15, 2021 and are expected to appear before court after 14 days to update them on the development of the case. They are charged with 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. SSEGIRINYA and Sewanyana join other 10 men who were charged with similar offences and remanded to MASAKA Saza prison.
But be that as it may, we are going to apply for bail. We are going to work throughout the night so that by dawn tomorrow we are ready with our papers. We bring the application here. Unfortunately, I told the judge is not here, but hopefully once the application is filed, we shall be heard. Hopefully we shall be heard because our clients health-wise are not doing well.
Tomorrow I'm going to raise the matter on the floor of Parliament, and I don't expect these policemen to arrest me. If you arrest me, I also arrest them. We shall raise the matter because if we continue with the way we are handling things here, we shall see what will take place. We shall see the Speaker also being removed from the seat.
Arias Lukwago alludes that the atrocities committed on the 23rd August are contrary with the evidence presented by his client. On this day, Alan Sewanyana was out of the country.
He had gone to Japan for Paralympics Games together with the State Minister for Sports, Honorable Hamson Obua. So they were together in Japan. How could he at the same time have traveled to Kabonera to execute the murders?
In the meetings conducted by security, ministers, the Defence and Internal Affairs Committee of Parliament, it was established that intimidation, land conflicts and politics were the driving factors of the murders.
You are compounding up the investigations. You are compounding up the whole matter. So are they now telling the nation that finally they have got the masterminds of these mysterious killings?
Story compiled by our reporter Ivan Kahwa, who is currently in Greater MASAKA. The High Court in Kampala has dismissed an election petition filed against Kawempe North Member of Parliament Mohammad SSEGIRINYA by the petitioner Sulaiman Chidandala. A court to dismiss this petition based on the grounds that the petitioner Sulaiman Chidandala failed to effectively serve SSEGIRINYA with a petition while on remand in Kitalia government prison as directed by court.
During the last court meeting, the Electoral Commission legal team, led by Eric Sabiti, asked High Court to dismiss the petition which was filed against Kawempe North Member of Parliament, Mohammad SSEGIRINYA. Electoral Commission prayers informed court that Sulaiman Chidandala failed to serve the primary respondent in this matter, Mohammad SSEGIRINYA. However, this was objected by Sulaiman Chidandala's legal team, led by Paul Kenneth Kakande. Tuesday morning, before Justice Senator Olayo, after perusing both sides' submissions, was pleased with the Electoral Commission prayers, thus dismissing the petition.
Be dismissed for non-service of the petition.
In the ruling, which was read by the Civil Division Assistant Registrar, Agnes Alumu, court said that SSEGIRINYA was not effectively served as directed by Justice Baguma. According to Justice Wolayo, SSEGIRINYA's lawyers had to go and serve him through the Office of Chitalia and then another copy put on the court notice board. However, Chidandala's lawyer's intent was at serving SSEGIRINYA in person, not through the Office of Chitalia.
In support of this application, Electoral Commission relied on affidavit of Mugia Felix, OC Kitalia Government Prison, who denied service on SSEGIRINYA and denied witnessing the said service.
Justice Wolayo added that court orders should not be taken lightly by choosing which one to comply with and not to comply with.
Had to be effected concurrently, and non-implementation of one meant the service was ineffective.
After court, talking to Sulaiman Chidandala's legal team, led by Paul Kenneth Kakande, they vote to appeal against the ruling.
That's why I believe it must be analyzed by the Court of Appeal. Thank you very much.
Sulaiman Chidandala, in filing this petition, was challenging Mohammad SSEGIRINYA's victory, basing his case on lack of academic qualifications to represent the people of Kawempe North in Parliament.
So I don't think there was dodging. He was in Chitalia, not on a holiday. He was a suspect. He was in Chitalia as a suspect. I'm getting it. So the only way to get a suspect is to serve him through a what? An officer in charge, in his presence. You don't go to Chitalia for a holiday.
Nantong Rebecca, UBC News.
Bureaucracy and delayed release of funds have been cited as some of the major reasons for the not so good performance of local government administrative units. Prime Minister Robina Nabanja challenges permanent secretaries across ministries to always verify project progress before approving funding. Now, this was during the government annual performance review at the office of the Prime Minister, where Uganda was named best performing district in the country. Henry Okrot reports.
There is a problem of lack of inspection. We normally see inspectors when they are doing assessment.
Is there a correlation between poverty and these performances, especially in education?
What criteria do you do? So that as we sit here getting this message and we get back down there, we go and make follow-ups.
These responses were in reaction to a report on the performance of local governments in the financial year 2020-2021. It was presented by Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Mary Goreti Kitutu, on behalf of Minister for General Duties, Justin Kasule Lumumba.
The total number of local governments assets were 153, and the overall, the assessed areas performed below average, with education scoring 44%, followed by water and environment at 36%.
It was noted that municipal local governments performed better than districts,
with an average score of 48% against 46% for districts. Most local governments, that is 77%, performed well under the area of financial management and reporting.
Whereas revenue collection plans were not well implemented, some districts emerged victorious, with Uganda as the best, as Bugweri performed poorly. But why the disparity?
What is it that is making those people not perform? Because money has been given, by the end of the financial year, money is brought back.
There are some monies for constructions that must be procured by the center. So in that delay, the money goes back.
The event held at office of the Prime Minister was graced by the presence of the Vice President, Jessica Alupo, and the Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja. Both agreed that information sharing is vital for future planning.
Colleagues, the general performance of the financial year 2020-2021 indicates that on average, government achieved 36% at program outcome level against the NDP3 target. This is a low rating given that in the previous performance, government had been rated at 58%. The presidency will use the Apex platform, which is a new reform introduced through the third National Development Plan, to execute the responsibility for oversight of the plan.
They attributed failed use of funds by local governments to bureaucratic tendencies.
We are still faced with challenges of low absorption of loans and grants due to bureaucratic processes that delay the right of way for project execution, procurement delays, and inadequate implementation capacity.
If someone has failed to meet the implementation mechanisms of the program or the project in her area, that one who takes the money is better than the one who diverts the money and makes a neat accountability.
This is the first review to be held under Uganda's third National Development Plan. It was held under the theme, Stimulating the Economy to Safeguard Livelihoods, Jobs, Businesses and Industrial Recovery. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thanks, Henry, for that report there. Uganda Railways Corporation has engaged the political leadership of Chira municipality on the best way to evict squatters who encroached on Uganda Railways land reserve. However, the Chira municipality political leadership has turned down threats by Uganda Railways Corporation to evict the alleged squatters. Let's get more in this report.
Last week, Uganda Railways Corporation received the fully refurbished locomotives. However, the State Minister for Transport, Musa Echweru, used the same platform to sound a warning to all squatters illegally occupying Uganda Railways reserve land to leave with immediate effect, or else risky to be forcefully evicted pending effective operations.
Should have left our land yesterday, and I have used this chance to warn, particularly some of the politicians.
The Chief Civil Engineer Uganda Railways Corporation Geoffrey Obara and Kira municipality leadership engaged in a stakeholders meeting to forge solutions to threatening eviction against squatters on the Uganda Railways land. Obara asserts the Railway Corporation wants to re-establish the railway line boundaries for effective operations and hauling of new locomotives, but have been constrained by squatter illegal operations and occupation.
Crossing the boundaries, state boundaries. In this case, we are talking about state boundaries for railway lines. Now, we have had construction, temporary, permanent, cultivation, business activities, onto land that is already demarcated as railway reserve.
The Kira municipality member of parliament Ibrahim Samjonganda advised the Uganda Railways Corporation to compensate squatters on the reserve land of Uganda Railways or else be sued.
It's going to be very difficult for you to terminate a line So you see, this railway, you are doing it on behalf of people, as you say. They must welcome you. And they can only do so when they have relocated them.
The Kira Municipality Mayor Julius Mutebi Nsubuga blamed Uganda Rails Corporation for laxity when squatters erected permanent structures at their watch.
I'm one of the project affected persons. Naye when nazimba awali ennyumba yange wenzaalibwa. Amakubo gonna agayingira mu Kirekasi, mu byalo bya Kirekasi, part of Kireka Railway, part of Kireka B, gonna galaba mu ttaka lya Uganda Railways. What is claimed to be ttaka lya Uganda Railways? Muntu nenyeza ebisaani. Bani abateekawo akatale, bani abakasoloozamu ssente. The basket comes back to Uganda Railways.
Squatters on Uganda Railways Corporation land want the authorities engaged for peaceful relocation other than forceful evictions. Squatters have been occupying Uganda Rails Corporation land illegally for over 20 years. Ivan Juko, UBC News.
National Building Review Board has issued a report on what might have led to the collapse of the KISENYI building that claimed 6 lives in downtown Kampala. According to Engineer Nicholas Omoding, the collapse was due to a multiplicity of reasons, including poor quality of building materials used. Our reporter Saddam Mubale filed this report.
The National Building Review Board has released the report into the collapse of a stored mall that left 6 people dead in KISENYI, downtown Kampala urban village. While addressing journalists at the National Building Review Board headquarters, Engineer Nicholas Omoding noted that the collapse was caused by a multiplicity of reasons, among them poor quality of building materials used and non-qualified engineers.
Now, our preliminary findings from the accident are that the accident was caused by a multitude of factors. And our visual inspection, and also taking into consideration with eyewitness accounts from the site, indicated that clearly there was a problem with the materials being used on site. In other words, the quality of the materials, particularly concrete, was poor. Secondly, the workmanship that was deployed to undertake the construction at this particular site was also poor. And this is an indication that they were not qualified to be undertaking the work that was being carried out on this site.
With concern, Omoding also revealed that Kampala Capital City Authority did not take enforcement measures during the construction period.
We've engaged with the local authorities, which in this particular case is the KCCA, to understand their level of involvement with this particular project. And our indications have been, the indications are that KCCA, the building inspectors of KCCA did not carry out enforcement work on this site, because as it is, this is a 4-level, a building with 4 levels in the central business district of Kampala, and it is illegally constructed without a building permit.
The Buildings Control Regulations 2020 requires all engineers constructing solid buildings to take at least 1 month on each floor for the adequate time to dry before the subsequent construction, but this was also neglected by the building constructors.
Also, it is clear from speaking to witnesses on site that this building has been constructed, the 4 levels were constructed within a period of 2 months. So this means that the speed at which the building was being constructed was so high, to the extent that the concrete was not given sufficient time to cure properly before it could be loaded.
Also, the board has confirmed that the remaining part of the building will be put down to prevent more deaths and accidents in the near future.
Our recommendation is that those 2 remaining buildings should be brought down, otherwise they're going to cause problems to the neighbors.
In just a period of 1.5 months, more than 3 buildings have collapsed, which is a wake-up call to different stakeholders. Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
To the August House now, where Parliament has endorsed government takeover of Mountains of the Moon University in Fort Portal as a public university. Mountains of the Moon will now become the 9th public university in Uganda and will be majoring in agriculture and tourism. And as Philip Aguta now reports, the university was initially privately owned.
Those in favor say to the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Thank you.
The motion for Parliament to okay the government takeover Mountain of the Moon University was moved by the State Minister for Higher Education, John Chrysostom Moyingo.
With the directive by His Excellency the President.
The Minister says the move by government to take over the university is to increase access to education and address the regional imbalance of location of public universities.
Right, Honorable Speaker. This university will enable government to subsidize and support basic infrastructure development and staff pay, hence lowering the cost of higher education. The university will benefit a large catchment population in the districts of Bundibujo, Kabalole, Kamwenge, Kasese, Chegwegwa, Kenjejo, Toroko, and beyond.
Mountain of the Moon now becomes the 9th public university in Uganda. Others are being Makerere University, MBARARA University of Science and Technology, Gulu University, Kabale, Chambogo, Busitema University in Tororo, Muni University in Arua, and Soroti University. Mountain of the Moon University will mainly offer courses in agriculture and tourism.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the Mountain of the Moon University will, in line with the National Strategic Direction in NDP3, focus on agriculture, tourism, environmental conservation, geared towards promoting agro-processing, value addition and marketing.
The legislators concur with the minister's submission, saying the establishment of the university will help to increase access to university education and create employment.
Look at the number of PhDs and other academic staff with master's degree. You see a high level of preparedness for this university to be a public university. And this university comes with a number of benefits, not only for Uganda, but even for the Rwenzori region. You are going to have opportunities in employment. We are going to see increased demand and the purchasing power of the people brought by this university. Wherever these regions get their universities, it reduces over-concentration of students, especially in Kampala, where we used to only know Makerere University. We have Gulu University, we have Busitema University, we have MBARARA University, then why not Mountain of the Moon University? Because it is going to serve Ugandans. So, Right Honorable Speaker, with those reasons, I also stand and support the takeover of Mountain of the Moon University by government.
The lawmakers from Busoga sub-region, however, had earlier attempted to block the House from approving the Mountain of the Moon University due to government's failure to establish Busoga University as a public university for a long time.
Right Honorable, today the ministers come with one university, Mountain of the Moon. The people of Busoga are watching me seated there in this parliament. It would be so sad if I don't rise on behalf of the people of Busoga. Right Honorable, we need to be procedurally right.
The issue of Busoga University has been here earlier than the one of Mountains of the Moon. Yes. The procedural issue I raised is how the minister says they are preparing the one of Busoga University, and it is one of the Mountains of the Moon which is ready. Right from the 10th Parliament, we've been discussing this issue of Busoga University. So how come this is overlapping? What's the problem? And that's what we need to discuss. Otherwise, I beseech members to reject the motion.
Philip Aguta, UBC News, Parliament.
Now, the security operatives earlier on foiled a demonstration of bus and taxi drivers at NAMAYIBA bus terminal following a wrangle between YY Coaches management that has already left the premises there, and it's now occupying a new bus terminal, and Gateway, whose management and office still remain active at the terminal. The cause of the scuffle is allegedly based on stiff competition over clients between the two transport companies. Take a watch.
Today in history.
On the 7th of September 1997, former president of Zaire, Mobutu Sese Seko, breathed his last in Rabat, Morocco. According to the post-mortem report, Mobutu died of prostate cancer at the age of 66 years. Sese Seko was exiled to Rabat after he was ousted from power by Laurent Kabila's rebel movement, the Alliance of Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Congo, Zaire.
I smile when I think of you, Uganda, my home. My home, I dance when I look at you, Uganda, my home. Oh, my Uganda.
I know, with you I'll always stay forever. I know, because I feel that we belong together, my home. On my heart, mommy, oh my Uganda.
Hey mama,
my Uganda.
Oh,
my Uganda.
Oh,
my Uganda. My Uganda. Nigokona. My Uganda. Amari, alemira. My Uganda.
At MTN, we look forward to starting another exciting journey together to grow our home, Uganda.
Echa COVID-19 kijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
Five times the winning, yeah. 5 times the happiness, yeah. 5 times the luckiness, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5. 5 times the money, yeah. 5 times the shopping, yeah. 5 times the prizes, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5.
Win 100,000 Uganda shillings weekly in the 5 for 5 jackpot. Simply download the Sente mobile app. Click Sente on the go to open your account online. Transact 5 times or more using Sente mobile, Sente Visa, and Sente agent to stand a chance to win. The more you transact, the higher your your chances of winning. So, participate in the 545 jackpot and win millions in daily and weekly prizes. The 545 jackpot is brought to you by Centenary Bank. Our bank, Centenary Bank, is regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund.
Be alert. Do not share your Airtel Money PIN number with anyone. Airtel Uganda employees will never ask for your Airtel Money PIN number on call, SMS, or by email. All SIM card registrations, SIM card verifications, or SIM swaps are done at clearly branded Airtel shops and not on phone. To report any fraudulent activity, please call 100 immediately. The official calling number for Airtel promotions is 0200 100 100. Stay alert on Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now let's move on, and the government of Uganda has partially delivered its pledge to erect electric fences along territorial boundaries of national parks and human settlements. The phase of ring fencing national parks has covered 162 kilometers space to maintain good animal-human relationship. The first national parks to be ring-fenced, though not complete, are Queen Elizabeth National Park with 42-kilometer ring-fenced space and 23-kilometer ring-fenced for Murchison Falls National Park.
Communities bordering national parks will get new fence lifts to avoid wildlife conflict. This move follows complaints by residents after massive killings and agriculture destruction from wildlife that tend to move from their game park conservation areas. The Wildlife Authority has now embarked on installing electric fence around the national parks.
We're getting money, I think, starting January next year. That will put into additional fencing of both Murchison and Queen Elizabeth. We should be able to do more, but again I need to emphasize that not every boundary requires an electric fence.
Mawanda says Uganda Wildlife Authority has now embarked on implementing a number of things to bolster the tourism sector.
To market our products. First of all, we develop the products. For example, boat rides, gorilla tracking, chimpanzee tracking, game drives. So we develop these products and then we market them.
Measures are now in place to curb the challenges Uganda Wildlife Authorities is facing to ensure tourists have what to see when they come to visit the national parks and game reserves.
Poaching is one of them. The other one is limited funding. When we talk poaching, it goes hand in hand with illegal wildlife trade. The other one is limited funding to do the work that we should do. And in terms of what we are doing to deal with poaching, we have intelligence, we have people who are picking up information that we follow up. Our main role is to ensure there is a product. That product, which is called wildlife, is there, that it is vibrant, that the numbers are good. And we do this through the conserving the integrity of the protected area, the habitat.
Uganda Wildlife Authority currently manages 10 national parks and 13 wildlife reserves, which is 11% of Uganda's total land, with immense tourism potential. Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
The Electoral Commission is evaluating its performance of the 2021 general elections. The Regional Elections Officer for Kampala Metropolitan, Fred Muwaya, told UBC that the 3-day engagement will help the Commission do better in future. Bernard Yiga reports.
Although the 2020-2021 general elections were conducted and ended successfully, a few challenges were registered according to the elections body, the Electoral Commission. The Commission this Tuesday rolled out evaluation meetings countrywide involving stakeholders to devise means of delivering better going forward. Stakeholders including police, election officers, civil society and special interest groups from Wakiso have met in Bugolobi to brainstorm on the elections. Fred Muwaya Tibakuno is the regional elections officer for Kampala, Wakiso, Mukono, Buikwe and Buvuma.
We have received as the Electoral Commission from the public has been the way we conducted the voter education. Of course, in many ways, the Electoral Commission has some limitations, especially when it comes to the resources we have to deploy. But also, the meeting realized that the indictment actually even goes to the general public, to the political parties and all the players within our social fabric, because it is important for us all to be part of the voter education drive, to make sure that our people are drawn to the polling stations, that they know exactly what they are going to do, and also that they are civically aware of their duty as citizens to participate in the selection of their leaders.
Mr. Muwaya told UBC that most challenges were faced during the campaign period, where a section of Ugandans thought that the COVID-19 SOPs were meant to curtail their search for votes.
But it wasn't, and I think people have come to realize that for sure this was a serious pandemic, a serious situation which we were playing with, and I believe it informs a lot of what happened during the month of June when the pandemic came in a very big way during the second wave. So we think that all of us have learned a lesson, and we believe that we shall pick a leaf from there.
The 3-day evaluation workshops underway countrywide will close Thursday this week.
The Directorate of Industrial Training has paid a courtesy visit to Uganda Kingdom in Mengo to forge ways of addressing unemployment plaguing the youth in Uganda. The Directorate is to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Uganda government to empower youth with demand-driven skills, as we hear in this report.
Skilling the youth with demand-driven skills is among the objectives of the central government's Vision 2040, with the aim of empowering the youth with different skills. The acting director at the Directorate of Industrial Training, Patrick Byakatonda, paid a courtesy visit to Uganda Kingdom to discuss ways of empowering the youth with demand-driven skills.
Parts of the car must be put together by a technical person who may not be very highly educated, but that person needs to be skillful enough to ensure that the right nuts or the right bolt is fixed in the rightful place. Otherwise, the car can crash and cause death of many people. So we must develop vocational skills within, especially the young people. But it will also enable them to sustain their lives meaningfully. I think the people who are skilled in vocational callings can find a lot easier than the professionals finding jobs or economic activities, or even fitting into the systems.
The Katikiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, says all developed countries have embraced skilling programs and urged the youth to embrace skilling.
Personal development is not as easy as it is with vocational skills. Here in the Kingdom, we have the Uganda Institute of Business and Technical Education, and its mandate is to train Ugandans in those fields, in the vocational skills of the ordinary citizens, especially young people, so that they can live their lives with dignity, because they can sustain their lives.
He appreciated the work of the Directorate of Industrial Training for ensuring that demand-driven skills are embraced. Byakatonda was privileged to work with Buganda government towards the development of the youth.
Development needs skilled manpower. Those skilled manpower, they have to be skilled, they have to be assessed, they have to be certified. The Directorate of Industrial Training can certify any person, whether you have gone to school or not. As long as you have skills, we can assess and certify you. You can earn a better living. So we are here to work together.
Top among the agenda was the signing of an MOU with Buganda government. Byakatonda was quick at observing the respect the Baganda youth accord to the kingdom, thus the need to involve them in the transformation of youth livelihoods. The visit also aimed at empowering youth in competent-based education of agriculture, animal husbandry, and small-scale industries. Henry Moganga, UBC News.
Now, the Ministry of ICT kick-started the Mindset Sensitization Program with employees at the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs to be the first actors of the government program on mindset. The Commissioner National Guidance at the ICT Ministry, Kambarage Kakonge, says it is their role as public servants to make sure the strategies laid down by government in changing the mindset of Ugandans are achieved. Mindset change is an area that government has emphasized on for the common understanding of virtues. Take a watch.
We go to another position. The program is to sensitize the citizens so that they get to know what is this government program. They hear about the program, but they don't understand it. Now the purpose is, can they understand it? When they have understood it, can they own it, personalize it?
Is the fact that this is a collective responsibility. We all must appreciate it. We all must make it our own and then work together. After that, you've taken it up and you're doing it. I hope that after you've dealt with departments like this, officers, you go out on the street and take the same message.
The Bishop of Hoima Diocese, Bishop Kirabo Vincent Amoti, has urged Prime Minister Robina Dambanja to remain strong despite hurdles encountered. Now, this was in the office of the Prime Minister, where Bishop Kirabo prayed for the office bearer. Nambanja, who expressed gladness upon hosting the bishop, vowed to play her role without fear or contradiction.
For I am with you. This is what God is telling you. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Don't worry, for I am your God. I give you strength. I bring you help. I uphold you with my victorious right hand. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. We are very grateful to His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Uganda, for the trust in your leadership capacity. And as Bishop of Hoima, I thank you for your committed service and love of our country, especially the less privileged.
I think you are the first bishop to come in my office since when I was appointed Prime Minister. I don't take this for granted, but of course, what you read for me through Isaiah, that I should not fear, God is with me. I am very grateful, and that has energized me, and I believe I will serve Ugandans to the best of my ability. I want once again to thank you for the support you have given me and my family and the people of Kakumiro, the churches, the contributions, and many other things. We really appreciate, the prayers you have always given me. And I commit that I will continue in the path of our Lord Jesus. Thank you so much.
Bishop Kirabo Vincent Amoti of Hoima Diocese, they are blessing Prime Minister Robina Nabanja. The Ministry of Health has received an advance of ambulances worth 55,000 euros, which is approximately 230 million shillings for Malaba border. The donation was handed over by the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, European Union and the United Nations Office for Project Services. And as we hear from Zahara Abigaba, the donation is to enhance the preparedness and response efforts to COVID-19 pandemic in the country and support primary health care services in Tororo District.
European Union, together with Intergovernmental Authority on Development IGAD, have delivered advanced ambulance worth millions of shillings to Tororo District through the Ministry of Health. The donation is to enhance preparedness and response efforts to COVID-19 pandemic in the country and support primary health care services in the district of Tororo.
So from the port of Sudan to the port of Mogadishu into the interior, like the port of Nimule, the port of Busia, Malaba, we have interventions to support member states to contain this virus, and then in the event of infections that we are able to support member states to boost their response capacity. And I'm very glad to report that as of last night, the number of infections of persons who are sick has come down significantly.
The enhanced ambulance has a complete life support equipment, including ICU setup for management and referral of critical medical cases. The handover ceremony was graced by Her Excellency Lucy Daxbacher, Head of Mission IGAD, Delegation of EU, His Excellency Ambassador Tilio, United Nations country representatives, and witnessed by senior Ministry of Health officials and IGAD Uganda staff.
Regional European Union grant of 60 million euros. This regional action aims at helping the countries concerned to address these multiple challenges. It will increase access to health and to critical medical equipment and will provide socio-economic support for vulnerable groups, especially in cross-border areas.
Ambulance. UNOP so far for Uganda has procured more than 750,000 PPEs, around 25,000 COVID test kits, 2 standard ambulances, and today we are witnessing the advanced ambulance. And as mentioned earlier, in Uganda the program is implemented in Elegu, Busia, Malaba, and Ajumani.
The Deputy Director Health Services represented the State Minister Primary Health Care, noted that the country is still in a critical stage of response, yet some members of the public are not adhering to standard operating procedures. Thus the need to scale up risk communication and community engagement interventions.
Timely donation by IGAD will bridge the gaps of inadequacies in referral services needed by the citizens, and it will definitely ease the mobility of the responders and referred clients in Tororo districts and the cross-border points of entry along Uganda-Kenya borders. It will further enhance public health actions that reduce vulnerability to COVID-19 transmission.
The program focuses on critical cross areas in the region and aims to enhance IGAD's coordination capacity and ensure borders are safe for trade and promote digital health solutions.
So the CAO and your team, we really trust that you'll ensure that this ambulance is well maintained and used for the purpose for which it has been procured.
But we are grateful that Tororo has been considered in this consignment. We have actually gone through so many challenges attributed to lack of ambulance. Of course, an ambulance is respect to life. When it is available, you know a life is saved.
Zahara Abigaba, UBC.
Uganda Tourism Board has sealed a deal with Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited to include hydropower sites on the nation's tourist attraction sites. And as Nasil Wama now reports, the parties intend to promote infrastructural tourism.
The magnificent synergy and waters are among the qualities to include hydropower sites on the radar of the national's tourist attraction sites.
Having such facility gives a great opportunity, especially in this region. If we look at the Busoga region, we have, key attractions, key events that keep happening every year, and adding this facility would definitely get somebody to stay another night, in this region.
Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited has perceived it significant to embrace partnerships to promote power sites as tourist destinations.
For us to be able to attain that financial sustainability, we decided to diversify and look at other sources of income. And one of the sources of income we thought would be using our facilities for tourism purposes.
Apart from wildlife, culture, the tourism body in Uganda is embarking on infrastructure tourism for favorable competition in the dynamic industry.
Today, tourism has taken a preponderant role in practically all the economies of Africa and the world over. So you have your power station, and the tourism sector is going to market the attractions associated with that power station.
The partnership is for 3 years to market the 2 power generating stations of 600 megawatts of Karuma and that of Isimba.
Let us do the physical planning for our hydropower station sites, Isimba, Karuma and others, and be in a position to ensure that the other developments that are supposed to be put in place are catered for in the plan.
Tourism being Uganda's leading foreign exchange earner, the standardization of tourism products and services demands public, private and non-state actors. Abdul Nasili Lubwama and Insamba Juma for UBC News.
We'll now be taking a very short break, but when we return, we shall be looking at what's happening in the world of business.
The Academic Registrar of Kalasa Agricultural College, with great pleasure, informs graduates, parents and the general public that the 56th graduation ceremony of Kalasa Agricultural College will be held on Friday, 10th September 2021 from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. The chief guest will be the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. The ceremony will be virtual with limited invitations. Therefore, all those authorized to attend the ceremony shall comply with the standard operating procedures stipulated by the Ministry of Health. Graduates, guardians and the general public will follow the live streaming of the ceremony on UBC television, YouTube, Facebook at Bukalasa Agricultural College Center of Excellence, Twitter at Bukalasa Agric and on Zoom. Graduates are particularly required to pay shillings 87,900 including bank charges into Centenary Bank account number 35100217121. The payment is for graduation, transcript, certificate and convocation. The list of graduates for conferment of diplomas and certificates in the various disciplines is available on the college website www.bsc.sc.ug. For inquiries, please contact the Office of the Academic Registrar by mail at bsc@bsc.sc.ug.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. Finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly until James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the benefits of homegrown advantage with a decoder and 1 month of GoTV value. For just 25,000 shillings, enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cap competitions. GoTV Uganda, love it.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175*94# to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles. Valid for 3 months. Dial *175 hash and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles. Valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Brought to you by
Transact 5 times or more using Center Mobile, Center Visa, and Center Agent to stand a chance to win. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. So, participate in the 545 jackpot and win millions in daily and weekly prizes. The 545 jackpot is brought to you by Centenary Bank, our bank.
Welcome back from that short break. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of business. Construction of MBARARA Central Market is now at 95%, meaning with 4 months left to completion, vendors will start using the market facility. The city engineer and the mayor, Robert Kachebezi, made the revelation during the on-site tour. We have more in this report.
This is MBARARA Central Market Complex under construction. However, during an on-site tour to establish what is left towards the completion of the magnificent market facility, the mayor of MBARARA City was pleased with the work in progress to have the facility finished in the space of 4 months.
Some of the works have already been completed, like some parts are already roofed. They have already started shutting up the lockups. So some good work right now, and for that matter, I think as a city council, we must prepare for the register. Make sure that we prepare our people to come back and now into the market.
The work on site is 95%. This means that the market will be completed in 4 months. However, the mayor of the MBARARA City appealed to the market vendors to remain patient.
And my people, I also want to thank you for being patient enough, but I want to assure you that the market has to take off. So that we appreciate what the government of the Republic of Uganda under His Excellency Yoweri Museveni is doing. More especially to look at those people with little income, to make sure that they get places which are very convenient, which are very smart for them to start on and do business, such that they can also do some good business like the rest of the people.
The government of Uganda allocated 21 billion shillings for the construction of MBARARA Central Market. The market is being constructed by Rocco Construction Company.
The beauty of this, the remaining part, all the materials.
Kasibante Stuart Elvis, the site manager for Rocco, says they would have finished the work that started in 2018, but COVID-19 delayed the disbursement of funds to complete the market facility on time.
Also, there have been challenges, different challenges. Corona, change of design, especially change of design. There are several changes that came in, and we had all these interruptions which are now being resolved, and we are now past any challenge, so we are hopeful and confident that by 29th of September we should be able to give the community.
However, the market leadership pleaded with the contractor to finish the market on time or else risk losing a lot of money in the temporary places where they are operating from.
And moving further afield, health ministers from the group of 20, G20, on Monday unanimously approved a plan to curb the spread of the coronavirus among vulnerable populations in low-income countries. After 2 days of talks, the ministers agreed on a broad plan to provide financial assistance and vaccines to slow the spread of the pandemic in the poorest countries in the world. And that is according to Italian Minister of Health Roberto Speranza. In a joint communique, the ministers agreed they should provide a strong message of cooperation, solidarity and justice in the firm belief that nobody should be left behind. And as Italy holds the rotating presidency of the G20 this year, Speranza chaired the talks which were held in Rome. At a press conference, Speranza hailed what he called a Rome Pact for vaccine distribution. The Taliban hopes the new government of Afghanistan can establish good relations with China and cooperate with the country in all areas, spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid said Monday. Now, he made the remarks during a press conference in Kabul, adding that Afghanistan needs support and investment from China. Mujahid said that China is a major country in the world, and the Taliban hopes that Afghanistan will cooperate with China in many fields and aspects in the future, including the economy, trade and infrastructure projects on water, power and natural gas pipelines. But the Taliban must bring peace and security to the entire country first. Sports news now, and Uganda's 4 representatives at the just concluded Tokyo 2020 Olympics have started returning home. The first one was bronze medalist David Emong, who was followed by para badminton player Rita Asimwe, who shared her memories with us. John Ban-Sentamo reports.
Badminton player Rita Asimwe has returned from the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics, where, despite not winning any of her games, was a monumental experience.
Rita, I know your story. But there are many Ugandans out there that would like to hear your story, how it all started for you up to where you are now.
It's really a long story, and I'd love to tell a long story, but right now I think I'll cut it short. It has not been easy, it has really been tough, but it was because of determination and love and having the ambition of wanting to be something in my life, to be something to the people, to be something to everyone that is around me, not to feel like I am useless in this world. And I have achieved my aim and goal, and I am so excited about that.
Uganda finished 78th at the Games with David Emong's bronze medal in the T46 1,500 meters, the only one achieved. Rita Asimwe played 3 and lost all, including one to eventual winner Chinese Yang Ziwei in the SU5 category. Asimwe also lost to Netherlands' Hollander Megan and Portugal's Beatriz Monteiro, but garnered vast experience to motivate her.
My effort, to me, I count it as a win, because these guys are super experienced. That's what I would say. Not talented, because I mean we are sharing that talent right now, but they put in a lot of their time. They've done it for a long time.
Outgoing Physical Education and Sports Commissioner Omara Apita confirms government commitment towards parasport in the country, starting at various competitions at schools level.
Paralympics is where we have a lot of raw talent that we had not yet really harnessed the talent there so much. The future is good. We had young athletes who performed very well. Comparing the standards, that's the top level in sports in the world. I think the future for Paralympics is very good.
Uganda's other representatives at the Paralympics were swimmer Husna Kukundakwe and runner Peace Oroma, who all posted good times in their events.
I appeal to all the young girls out there, the boys and the young generation, to rise and make a good future out of their own life. No one is going to make you the future you want, but you, and it starts with your mindset and your heart and the focus to what you want to be.
John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
And John Barnes-Sentamo's story almost brings us to the end of this bulletin. But before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories.
Definitely.
In our top stories tonight, MASAKA murders, 2 MPs remanded in connection. MP SSEGIRINYA now duly elected member of parliament after court ruling. Government Performance Index, Uganda district named best. And in sports, Tokyo Paralympic Rita Asimwe returns with experience but with no medal. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it's been Elizabeth Nakakoni, and I am Rukiidi Edward Kijjanangoma. We'll be leaving you with the weather prospects for tomorrow with Daphne Kabasita and Samba. See you tomorrow.
Kabasita and Samba is my name from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Thanks for tuning in to UBC for the weather update. Sunny intervals have prevailed in most parts of our country today morning, but then later in the afternoon we had showers, especially the western part of Uganda and some few areas in eastern part of Uganda. According to the rainfall that received today, we reported the highest amount of rainfall of 6.4 millimeters, and then in Tebe we had 2.1 millimeters. This is because of the advection of the moist winds that are coming in from Congo towards the western part of our country, together with the local effect of Uganda. That's why we're having showers in most parts of Uganda. Tomorrow we're expecting to start the day with sunny intervals in most parts of the country, apart from some few areas in eastern part of Uganda where we're expecting showers. Later in the afternoon we're expecting showers in most parts of Uganda, western and eastern, apart from the northeastern where we're expecting sunny intervals. Temperatures expected to rise to 32 degrees Celsius in the northeastern part of the country. Other parts of Uganda, we're expecting temperatures to range from 27 to 30 degrees Celsius. Apart from some few areas like in southwestern Uganda, we're expecting temperatures to rise to 24 degrees Celsius. Going to Nairobi, we're expecting showers with temperatures rising to 25 degrees Celsius. In New Delhi, Washington and London, we're expecting sunny intervals. Moscow, we're expecting cloudy conditions with temperatures rising to 16 degrees Celsius. That's what we had in our store. Continue tuning into UBC. Have a blessed night.